Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host. I want to thank everybody for coming. And with me tonight are my two sons, Michael, who's in charge of this production. Hello, Michael.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back. And for those of you that are new here, welcome.
And then there's Jeffrey, who's in charge of our chat. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how we doing? Yeah, turn yourself on there.
Launch myself here. Hey,
Welcome,
welcome everybody tonight. Looking forward to be back. I wasn't here last week, but I am here, or last month. But I'm here tonight, so look forward to
Glad
an
to have you
amazing
back.
show.
Yeah, we missed you.
Thank you.
Oh.
All right.
All right, who's up?
Anybody? Do we got any news for the month or anything? I know. Did you guys talk about the Denver show last week?
Yeah, we talked about
month.
Denver
Yeah.
last month. That was our first show back. We had some stones from Denver. Tonight we've got even more. So Jeffrey's probably in the middle of making those going live right now. So if you are new here and you're looking to shop or looking to see what stones we've got available, you can either wait and watch during the show, or you can head on over to MoreGems.com, click the green banner, and all the stones should be up shortly. And then there'll be 5 hidden gems, as you can see on the screen there. So those will sporadically pop up through the night, and those will be a little bit of an extra discount at 25% off. So you'll have to wait, stay tuned for those. There's some great pieces in there. Outside of that,
I think.
yeah.
And then the 15% off, you don't need a coupon code at all.
Right, yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to show up in the cart at 15% off. The other ones will announce with the coupon codes.
Yes. Yeah, I believe the 25% off will be rare 25. And then we'll have some blue light specials too that we'll discuss once those pop up. So yeah, other than that,
And the hidden gems, they have to do what to see them?
they're going to need to refresh the page. So once they pop up on the screen here, Jeffrey will go ahead and make those go live. So you'll just need to refresh your browser if you're on MoreGems.com already, and then those will pop up. So
Yeah.
But-
Sounds confusing, but it really isn't.
yeah.
We'll assist you throughout the whole show.
Right.
We just keep those hidden, because people do buy ahead. So
This makes you stay with us all night.
yes, yeah, you gotta be excited about. We'll announce it.
Because 25 off is a good discount, and there's some nice stones. So
Let's see. Andy says he only hears music, but
only
no audio.
Music and no audio. Oh, you know what? On the vertical chat, I forgot to turn the mics on. So yeah, give me a minute here. I'm going to turn those back on.
All right. So we got 2 chats going. We have the horizontal and the vertical video, and let's see. So all the horizontal people, you can see us and hear us. And we're working on the vertical. So Mike's working on that. For everyone else, we do accept all credit cards. We accept PayPal. We accept, also have financing through a firm. And we also do accept layaway, but those you have to call for tomorrow, and we don't do any holds. So tons of options for you to pay. If you have any questions throughout the whole show, we have a lively chat that's going on. We got a lot of people back. We got Slytherin from Mississippi, NorCal here from NorCal, Tracy from Madison. We got Higgs from Massachusetts. So we got a lot of people coming in from around the country. John, yes, we do ship to Canada. John Wick, if it's the real one. How are we looking on vertical?
I'm not sure if mine is working, but I've got Jeff and Steve. Your mic should be working.
Okay.
Mine is not.
yeah, let us know if you can hear us now.
And everybody that's vertical, if you have some issues, I did post a link in the chat that takes you to the horizontal page. So all those people could hear us, you couldn't. So I'm going to just go quick here. We're going to be launching a bunch of stones all night long, 15% off. You just got to go to MoreGems.com, click on that green banner. You'll see all the stones that we sell, 15% off in cart. I'm going to be releasing lots of stones throughout the show at 25% off as well. If you have any questions about anything, post them in the chat. We're here to answer those questions. If you want to see a stone again, just ask. If you have, want to ask about a stone or anything about Steve, post them. This is your time to ask anything that you want. This is, while we're selling stones throughout the show, we also want to make this kind of a lively chat and answer any kind of educational questions that you have as well. So hopefully that helps.
What do you think, Mike? We're good to go?
You can go ahead and start. I'm going to be... let me try and figure out.
Okay. All right. So when you're looking at these items, you'll see an appraised value. This particular one that's up here doesn't have an appraised value because we use this gem guide. As it says, it's a market-driven independent pricing guide. These people go around to the major shows and shop the wholesale dealers and create this price list, which is very extensive. I mean, if you could see here, just in garnets, there's grossular mint garnets,
He said we could
grossular orange garnets, hessonites, Tsavorites, pyropes, and they go into rhodolites and things like spessartites. They break down into two categories. So they're very specific, and they give us a wholesale value and a recommended markup price. And that would be the basis for the appraised price. Below that, our price is the price online, and then when you order something, it will automatically take the 15% off of that price, which is listed as our price. Anything else we need to...
I think so, yeah.
All right.
And also with all these stones tonight, we also do custom.
You got to turn your...
Yeah, we also do custom jewelry design, which is our specialty. So if you'd like us to design any jewelry around this, we can definitely do so. Some people choose to buy the stone and then work with Alice and Chris to design something. Some people want to see the stone first. You ship it to them. You can always ship it back, and we can custom design something for you.
All right. Good. Yeah, there's a good picture of you, Michael. Okay, our first stone up is an Ammolite. We did get this from our supplier. They were in Denver. We have been up to Lethbridge and done a little mining up there and watched them mine. But this time we met them in Denver, and this was my first experience with a little bit of price increase because of the tariffs. It wasn't a lot, and these are not real expensive anyway, so it didn't have a great effect. But I did notice the difference. Yeah. So this is just a really clean stone. If you look at most ammolites, they're pretty cracked up because they're under a couple 100 feet of overburden, and the pressure of that breaks the shells, just pretty much cracks them up. So it's difficult to get real clean pieces like this. So this is a really nice Ammolite. Ammolite is a fossilized ammonite, 70 million years old in the case of this particular location, which is in Alberta, Canada. Lethbridge is the town that we went to, and it's a real cool mining operation, and we unfortunately didn't find much on our own. As they said, it was late in the season, and people have been through there because the local native Canadians have rights to the mining across the river from where these are mined, but they do occasionally slip over to the other side and mine the riverbank what was that? St. Mary's River, I think.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. So really a lot of fun, but not very productive for us. Yeah. But this is a really great Ammolite. Price is $4.90. As I said, we don't have an appraised price. There's nothing in the guide for that. But with the 15% off, this particular gem is $417. It's $15 a carat. You know, I look at the amount of work involved in these, and I'm kind of surprised they're not more expensive than they are. You know, because this is really the high end of the material. The ones that have more cracks are much less expensive. But it's something I've always enjoyed working with Ammolite. I just think the colors are beautiful. There's not much in nature that has brighter colors than what Ammolites do. And the second one up is also an Ammolite. This one a little more expensive. This is the highest grade they produce, and it has the blues and a little bit of the violets that are very, very difficult to get in this material. So there's just a real wide selection of colors in it. And the surface also is very, very clean. But even Opal, I mean, it really has a hard time matching the color and iridescence of this material. So this one weighs $37.15. $7.90 is our price online. And with the 15 off, it is $672. Looks like $18 a carat. As I said, that's the high end of what Ammolite runs, just because it is the highest quality material available. And the next stone up. This Tanzanite is one that I had as a cut stone. You know, it was cut in India, and the quality of the cutting of this particular gem was not the greatest, so I decided to sit down and recut it. I cut the pavilion as a brilliant style with a step cut crown, and I think it worked really well. You know, just really nice brilliance. You know, has some red flash in it. Just this combination of brilliant pavilion, step cut crown, just produce a very, very lively gem. This one weighs 3.70 carats. Appraised price is $38.85. Our price online $22.20. And with the 15 off is $18.87 or $510 a carat. Oop, I can do that. So nice ring size. You know, big.
You get it towards the...
Hide my head. So because of this style of cutting, I mean, it's not cut very deep. It's cut at ideal angles, but you do, again, as I talk of often, you get a good wide spread on it. It looks fully the 3.7 carats, because originally this stone probably weighed 4.5 carats and had the same diameter. And our next stone up is something we haven't had for many years. This is a Chrysoberyl, kind of a slightly greenish yellow. And this one, for this material, just a really clean stone, nicely cut. It has a good high refractive index, and so it produces a nice, brilliant stone. So this one, about 10.5 by 9 millimeter. Weighs 4.48 carats. Comes from Tanzania. Step cut pavilion, brilliant style crown. Price on this $4,480. Our price online $3,280, and with the 15% off, it's $2,788 or $622 a carat. You know, the other stone we know is Chrysoberyl would be Alexandrite, the one that changes colors. And that one goes for a few dollars more. The price per carat would be double it'd be 5 times the total price of this stone for an Alexandrite. Not that relates at all, but they're both Chrysoberyls. They're good, tough stones. My little reminder. Have you seen? All right,
Yeah, we're streaming tonight on a lot of platforms, so I'm trying to answer them all, but we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then YouTube as well. And I'm going to just chime in here with a sale.
All
right. Chris purchased the pear-shaped cabochon cut Ammolite.
Oh, cool. The one with
very cool.
Is that the one with the blues in
Thanks,
it?
Chris.
Yeah, that's a cool color.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, those are great. Those are,
Yeah, that's one of the nicest ones that I've had in many a year. Most of the ones I have are more green, don't have that blue in them, but it was nice to see that at the show. And Ammolite wasn't high on my list because I have quite a few, but seeing a stone like that, it's hard to refuse. So next gem up. Whoops. Michael's sleeping at the wheel.
No, I'm trying to fix my mic. It's screwed up on the. I'll just.
Okay. So this one really has extraordinary color. As I've talked many times about inclusions, these are much less dramatic than you'll see in the videos of these stones. They're there. I mean, it is something that is very typical of bicolors and typical of many colors of tourmalines anyway. What you see here is probably a better representation. The inclusions, you can see them, but I say they're not as visible as what these pictures and videos are showing. But the color on this stone is so intense, is what drew me to this stone. Difficult to find deep colors in these bicolors, and these are kind of unusual colors for tourmaline and bicolors, period. But there's been a lot of bicolors available from multiple countries over the last, probably 3 or 4 years, which is unusual because before that there was almost no bicolors. So this is a stone that we're in an unusual period right now where bicolors are abundant, but it will happen again. It's happened many times over my time in business. When I started in business, we were getting them from Pala in California, was the primary source. They were one of the only sources for bicolors. And then we started seeing some out of Brazil and a little out of Afghanistan. And then there was none again. It's just very, very low production. And that lasted for quite some time. And now we're seeing an abundance of bicolors. So it's a good stone to buy now. As we do, we try and buy when they're available. Ideally they're cleaner than this, but getting a stone with this depth of color, even with the inclusions, is a good find. They just don't see this kind of color very often. So this is a 2.66 carat. Praise value $720. $525 is our price online, and with the 15% off, it's $446 or $168 a carat. So if you're a bicolor collector, this is an unusual color to add to your collection. I need something to pinch me, that way I don't have to listen to you all the time. Telling your dad, show it on hand, show it on hand. And this is a little more like what you would see it in person, where the inclusions just aren't so dramatic. All right, next one up. Oh, there's a big one. So this one I cut just less than 2 weeks ago. And it's a monster, and it was a chore. You know, this is, we figured about 18 hours of work, and the stress for me was significant. Cutting doesn't usually stress me, but for some reason this one did. Maybe partly the value of the material, and that's probably a lot of it, but not sure why it stressed me so much. I've cut many, many large gems, but this one proved to be a stressful stone. So this is completely natural. There's no treatments. And it just has a unique look, particularly for a natural. It shows both blue and purple, and the blue and purple are not exactly what you would see in a heated stone. The colors are a little different, you know, but it's a beautiful stone as it is. It would heat to an extraordinary stone, I'm sure, you know, and if I have it long enough, we'll find out. But we just felt it was a spectacular specimen as an unheated gem. So this one weighs 79 carats. One of the biggest we've owned in a long time. I think we had one that was 83 carat sometime earlier this year or last year. But this is close to the biggest we've had, and it is the biggest natural that we've owned. So praise value on this, $98,650. Our price online, $59,250. And with the 15 off, it's $50,363 or $638 a carat. Really unique gem. And it is both step cut, pavilion, and crown. But pretty remarkable color, even in its natural state.
Steve, somebody wants to know what rating on your color scale that would be.
We don't rate naturals. They just look so much different, there's nothing to compare them to. So I can't give it a rating. I'm sure if it were heated, it's going to be in the high 900s. You know, I can't imagine, you know, I've never seen this color before, so I don't know what it's going to cook to, but I know it's going to be great.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, it's the rating system only works with heated stones. You know, we're comparing with other stones, and this is incomparable. So, cool gem. You know, again, big face, not a whole lot of extra depth. It's not shallow, but, you know, just a good, lively stone, deep color. You know, I would love to see it heated. I love naturals, but I just would be interested to see just what this stone would heat to, because it's so much different than anything I've had. But the depth of color is there. The colors are extraordinary as they are, and I only assume that I can't say they'll get better, but it'll be a remarkable specimen of a heated Tanzanite also. Oops, I suppose you want me to show that on hand.
Throw it on the hand. Don't drop it.
Not too big for a ring, is it? I don't know if I can. Maybe a little like big.
Good thing we got a cutter here. Still early. There's only one of them.
Oh, it's not this one. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'll wait we'll have to have an extra large one for someone purchases that one up. Sorry, I'm trying to answer everybody's questions across all social media. This is as easy as I thought it would be. So Martha picked up the other Ammolite, the 28.55 carat one, the oval one.
Thanks, Martha.
Those are all just cool colors through those stones. It's just even mining them. I know I still remember being on like the side of the river. Yeah, no, it's not easy.
Right,
No.
even getting down. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was.
Soft, so it's good. Really.
Yeah. No. And then we got another one here. I think we got. I got them somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. If I find it, maybe I'll post a link to it. Roger picked up the split emerald cut Tourmaline 3.2 carats. The bicut. Yes. I think that's the one. Is that the one? Yeah, I guess it is. I can't see the picture very well. Okay. Is it? It could be. I don't know. It's one of them. And maybe one coming up. I'm not sure. But yes. So go ahead.
Jeffrey, it is our first hidden gem of the evening. So what that means is this one has not been visible to you guys. This one is a really cool stone too. So if you like it, I'd grab that up. Jeffrey's going to go ahead and go over to MoreGems.com. He's going to make it live.
Yep.
So if you like this stone, refresh that page. Think about it, but think about it quick because sometimes these go fast. So if you like it, pick it up.
Another really neat color.
Mute button. There we go. Hey, push the mute button.
How do I do that? All right. Hopefully I sound better now.
That's, you're talking bad about people and you put them on mute. Hey, everybody here now? Yeah, I think so.
How we doing?
Here's the S. Okay. Very
okay.
easy to press.
So this stone's from Afghanistan. Weighs 7.77 carats. The appraised price $62.20. Our price online $47.90, and with the 25% off, it is $35.93 or $462 a carat. Again, unique color for my time in business. I think what did we have one last show that had that bluish green end and pink?
Pretty sure that was it was also Afghanistan, but
yeah,
little different. It was more like light pink and this kind of not as deep red-ish color like this one.
Right. All right, next one up. I've been into Marquise lately. It's hard to find them, and they're not the easiest thing to cut. But this is a really fine Tanzanite. I had this one put away. I was going to mount it, and, it was stuck away in the back of my box, and I finally decided that after 6 or 8 months, maybe I wasn't going to mount it, so let's put it on the show. So, just really a nice marquee, nicely cut, nice brilliance, big millimeter size. It's 11 by 7.8. Just a beautiful color. Huh? All right. So just a pretty stone. Make a beautiful ring. And a big looking ring. Only weighs 3.5 carats, but it's a big millimeter size. Price $3,900. Our price online $2,090. And with the 15% off, it's $1,777 or $498 a carat. So this one's 40% blue, 60% violet. Rating is 950 out of 1,000. It's something I would cut more Marquise if rough was suitable for it, but typically the material is not going to yield the best for a marquee. Next gem up is a big Tsavorite. This weighs over 5 carat. Comes from Kenya. 5 carat Tsavorites are pretty rare stones. Once you get over 2 carat, the rarity jumps significantly. And if this one were cleaner, it would be much, much more expensive, because Tsavorite can be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a carat once you get into these sizes. But this one, it's rated SI2 clarity. There's a veil in it, and then there's one little bit stronger veil. You can see it there, but it really doesn't show up. And the veil barely shows up. You can see both of them there, but it faces almost clean, and a big, big rock. 5-carat Tsavorite, you don't see them often. Really a nice color. Appraised value on this, $23,900. Our price online, $79.90. And with the 15% off, it's $67.92 or $1,327 a carat. See if I can find Tsavorite here real quick. We had a sale. Tell us about it, Jeff.
Yes, Edwin picked up this stone.
Oh, really?
Tsavorite. Yeah.
Well,
Very
that
cool.
was cool.
Thanks, Edwin.
I was just going to show.
That's got to be one of the biggest Tsavorites I've ever seen.
Yeah. I did sell one that was about 13 carat once, but
Yeah, I really
that
like
was
the color
many,
of this one.
many years ago.
This one's got
So-
kind of a glowing color.
So wholesale, a 5 carat in its best quality, wholesale is $8,500 a carat. So you got to figure a normal markup, you're 11, 12,000 a carat, so 50 grand for a really top quality stone. But yeah, it's inexpensive, and that's why I bought it. I don't get Tsavorites of this size just because the price is just so crazy that it's difficult to sell. But this came along, and a stone that's, in this kind of price range, it's a very, very affordable stone. And as you'll see, Edwin, when you get it, the inclusion's difficult to see, and just a really, really pretty garnet. All right, next up is another pretty garnet. This probably is one of the finest Alexandrite-like garnets I've ever owned. I'll try and show you the color change. I'll have a mix of lights, so it's not going to be easy. We don't have the videos that are online. Online, I took some videos today, outside, inside, and in a daylight LED to show the color change. Because our studio, it's impossible to photograph it. You just can't see the color change. Now, outside, this typically is more green than this. It has some of the blue in it. But when the remarkable part of this stone is its red end of it. If you get that blue out of there, this goes very red, and yeah, maybe you can flip those off. Still got one on. So you can see the amount of red in this stone, and it shows up real well. The problem with most color change garnets is the only time you get this kind of red in a stone is when they're really dark. So they're typically overly dark, don't show their colors except in bright light. So when you wear them, generally they just look like a dark stone, whereas this one is just a much brighter stone, and the red is really strong in it. When you buy color change, I've bought many, many color change garnets, and the red is typically the weak link in the stone, whereas this one, it is its strongest color, is the red end of it. So really, really fine Alexandrite-like garnet. And compared to Alexandrite, Alexandrite is more than this per carat. Alexandrite more than the whole ring per carat. Carat and a half Alexandrite's 10,000, 15,000. A carat is typically where true Alexandrite is, but Alexandrite garnet is probably rarer right now than true Alexandrites, but still much, much cheaper. So this is a carat 56 color change garnet that comes from Madagascar. They're found in Bikili in Madagascar. This is set in 18 karat white gold, and white gold gold hit almost $3,900 an ounce today. You know, it's pretty amazing how much it's gone up. It's doubled within the last year, its price. So that, you know, when you look at stuff online from us, we have not changed prices on anything as of yet. Eventually I'm going to have to. You know, new things we make up will be priced at current gold, but all of our stock still, most of it goes back to $2,000 an ounce. So there are some really good values in our inventory in general. And the estate is the same situation. You know, most of that was priced before all this price increases, and you know, but I'm into it for a price before that, and so you can benefit from us not marking it up as of yet. You know, we're going to have to reconsider that maybe here in the near future, but right now there's a lot of good values on the website. So this piece also, I don't know what the diamond weight was on this. There's quite a bit of diamond weight in it, and they're very, very fine diamonds. This is an estate piece. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it, you know, because this material out of Achille is not coming out. You know, there is almost no material. You know, you do see stones from Tanzania and Kenya, but they don't have this dramatic color change. You know, so this is a really special ring, and it's like new. It's barely been worn. There's no wear in the piece at all, and just a really beautifully made piece. So, price online $89.50, and with the 15% off, I don't have that price. So it's about $7,600 in this piece. Yeah, really extraordinary color change garnet. And we had a sale.
Yes. Leanne, I think it's Leanne, purchased the mixed cut square brilliant Tanzanite 3.70 carats.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Very nice piece.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one worked out real well. You know, I don't even know what my weight loss was and how that affected my profit, but you know, I was really happy with how it came out, and it needed to be done because it was a stone that definitely lacked brilliance, and you know, and this totally changed it. And I should look at recutting some more of the stones that I bought from India, and because this cut works so well, you know, just really, really brilliant finish on it. All right, next stone up. All right, here's some Peridots. You know, my success with selling Peridot, I think both me and Mike have had this issue. We love them. You know, we buy them in quantity, and we have a lot of it, but probably not our biggest seller. But these stones are extraordinary. I mean, a stone like this is almost 26 carats. The color is amazing. This is probably the biggest peridot I've ever owned, and this color, just this minty color, is special. And this one is particularly high clarity for a stone of this size. The only things in it are the Ludwigite crystals, and you will not see what you see on the screen now. You will not see those Ludwigite crystals because they are so fine, they're just not going to be visible. So this is a huge, huge peridot. You know, just a remarkable size, remarkable color, and the appraised price on this is $12,580. $89.90 is our price online, and with the 15 off, it's $75.62 or $292 a carat. You know, when you look at a top gemstone in any category, you know, you get something this size. How many of them are under $300 a carat? You know, this is rare material, comes only from one source. This is 12,000 feet up in the Himalayas in the north of Pakistan. So just very limited production. And like I say, stones this size, there are just so few of them. So even though it adds up to quite a bit of money, it is cheap per carat for something of this beauty. You compare to Tanzanite. Tanzanite's double the price. Of course, you can buy amethyst and citrine cheaper, but they're common. This is a rare material, big size, beautiful color, and it is relatively cheap. Yeah.
So what Steve's saying is, don't sleep on Peridot. It's a stone to buy right now, and it is beautiful. I don't understand why more people don't like it. Like Steve said, we both love this color. It's I don't know, there's something special about it, how clean it is, how much it's just got such a pleasing look to it, and it's something that, I don't know, people aren't into it right now, and I am, Steve is, but
not that we don't sell Peridot, we do sell quite a bit. Some of the bigger pieces, though, I still have quite a few of what I bought. And the unique, this color is a small percentage of the production from Pakistan. More of it is more typical what we see in Peridot. A lot of it is on the yellowish end. This is more blue like you would see in Marilani Mint Garnet. So it's just a unique color. There's no other source in the world that produces it. You'll always know this color by the Ludwigite because it's almost always in it. And I say this is the cleanest one I've ever owned, but there's still Ludwigite needles in it. But they're I won't say they're virtually invisible. You light it right, maybe you're going to see them, but in typical wearing, these are not visible at all. They're just such fine needles. You'll see Peridots like this with with coarser needles that you can see them easier, but this is a remarkably clean gem.
And it's a good, identifying characteristic of it too, being a natural stone, and Peridots are not treated at all. There's no heat or anything applied to them. It's just a totally pure stone.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? And only this color has the Ludwigite needles. It is characteristic of this color. The other colors of Peridot that this mine produces and other mines produce around the world don't have the Ludwigite needles. But something about this color always has Ludwigite needles. So I'm talking too much. Almost too big for the tweezers. So you can see the Ludwigite, difficult to see at all in this, and that's how you'll see it if you wear it. And it's a pretty big rock. And I think it's the largest Peridot. Been at this so long, I don't know if I can say that. I can't think of a Peridot I've had that was bigger than that. And particularly in that color, I know I haven't had. So that said, here's another Peridot. Same color. Slightly more included, which affects the price significantly. But still a really beautiful gem. You can see there's a veil off to the one side there. Couple of inclusions in it, but still very clean stone. And another big rock. This one weighs 18.77 carats. Same color, should be some Ludwigite in it. Yeah, very little, but there is, I see one needle there. I'm not sure if that's a Ludwigite. Yeah, that probably is a Ludwigite. Need a little coarser one there is. But, the difference, it affects the price considerably. Weighs 18.77 carats, appraised price $86.40. And the price online, $42.90. So it's with the 15 off, it's $36.47. So it dropped about $100 a carat. It's $194 a carat, but still a very, very large stone. You have a hard time finding stones of this size anywhere. We had a sale.
Yep, coming in here.
All right.
In between your Peridots here. Before I launch this, we got a ton of new people I know that are jumping in all the time. But if you're watching, again, all the stones here on the show you can purchase at MoreGems.com. And you click on that green banner at the top. That'll take you to all the stones we've talked about tonight and the ones we're going to be talking about shortly. And then you just add it to your cart. You get 15% off automatically. Some stones are 20 or 30% off. They'll be mentioned. You can pay with credit card, PayPal, as well as Affirm financing. So lots of options. But wanted to say we got another sale from Andrew. Picked up the Emerald Cut Tricolor Tourmaline 7.77 carat.
Cool.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
That seems like your kind of stone, Mike.
Yeah, that bicolor. Yeah, I really like that, and I used to wear a tourmaline crystal that was very similar to that, a little deeper green on the end. It was from Brazil.
What happened to that?
I got a new chain. I haven't switched out the bail.
Oh, okay.
So my old chain was a little thinner. I upgraded, and I just haven't. I haven't made that into a bigger bail for that one. But
And I think he was asking about putting it into a pendant. So it's
oh yeah, that
possible.
would be cool. Yeah, for sure. Even cut. Yeah, we've done some men's pendants with bicolor sunstone, which had the green and the orange, which was a really cool piece. Kind of simple with just prongs all around it. So yeah, it can definitely be done, and I think it'd look great. Steve, you want to show that bicolor tourmaline crystal we've got to show people why these stones are cut into these long bars?
I don't know if we can show it. Yeah. So here's the shape of the natural crystal. Is this one available on Mineral Mike?
This one is available, yes.
Okay.
This is from Brazil. Cool color, really nice red.
Yeah. And little twinned crystal next to it and a little baby one sticking out of it. What do you call those? Can I see it inside there too? Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. So this crystal grew around that small one. And there's a name for that. When crystals grow around another crystal, there's a particular name for that. But anyway, this is how they grow. This is why they're all cut typically long, although the one earlier was more square, but yes. Yeah. Yep. And you can see how they're typically included. Yeah, most of them are like this, heavily included is the nature of this material. Which is partly, when you grade tourmalines, particularly pinks and bicolors, they are a type 3 stone, meaning that they don't often come clean. So there's some latitude given in the grading, the clarity grading of type 3 gems, which would include emerald, pink tourmalines, I don't know what else, but those for sure are type 3s. I'm sure bicolors would be included in that. All right. Thanks for the sales. All right, up next, Peridot again. But these are really cool. These are Portuguese style cutting, which is one of our best-selling cuts, and a match pair. This pair weighs 8.47 carats. And the advantage of Portuguese cuts is the amount of brilliance that you get out of them. They're pretty much second to none when it comes to styles of cut and brilliance. So these again from Pakistan.
Somebody hopped on and asked if Linda cut these.
No. Yeah, we didn't cut them, but they were cut by our Peridot supplier, which their cutting has come remarkably well, and they're cut in Pakistan. It's kind of amazing how far they've come in some of the countries. There are certain people that are dedicated to fine cutting, and they're using better equipment as we would use. So the cutting quality around the world is, in general, gotten better. There's still a lot lacking, but there are cutters like these cutters are doing really, really good job. So these are about 9 millimeters each. Make great earrings. You could do a pendant and a ring. As you'll see, they're big enough for a ring. Nice size for a ring. Praise value on these is $3,380. Our price online, $1,990. And with the 15 off, it's $1,692 or $200 a carat. So a little over 4 carats each.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Ashley wanted to know, she's going to be getting into like appraising and I think potentially auctioning with gems and jewelry. Any insights on anything that she should know, or where to go to get more information on?
She wants to get into appraising.
Appraising, I believe, and an aspiring historian who wants to learn about gemstone and jewelry appraisal in the auction industry.
Do I have much help? Other than, of course, if you're in the trade, you can get the gem guide, which is real helpful on knowing what colored stone pricing is.
Show that more towards the center. So people
This?
are vertical. Right there.
So gem guide is available to people in the trade. And it will be a helpful guide for anybody doing appraisals. This is the guide that all appraisers use. Other than that, what's the question?
Or how to properly. Probably to learn more how to properly, I guess, appraise. If she's doing auctions and everything, how to appraise, what the prices of these gems should be for an auction.
Well, I mean, that's the best, and going to shows is critical in learning, and just shopping the shows. Tucson, of course, is probably the best. Denver was actually pretty good this year. So any shows you can go to like that, definitely helpful. But as far as, where to learn more about appraising, I have not done much of that myself. Of course I can appraise color just because I buy it. The more you buy things, the more you understand it. So just shopping is probably maybe the most critical thing you could do, is getting out whenever you can to a trade show or gem shows, or just looking at everything and trying to get a feel of prices. But the gem guide would be a first step for sure. All right, next one up. We're getting into an opal, and this is really a remarkable gem. Weighs 25 carat. This comes from Ethiopia. And just the color is just truly remarkable. It has every color of the rainbow. You can see the blues. Red, green. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. They're all here. Just clean throughout. Just an outstanding Ethiopian opal. It's 25 carats, appraised value $4,500. $2,790 is our price online. With the 15 off, it's $23.72 or $95 a carat. I can hardly imagine what an Australian stone would go for that look like this. 5 times at least. And just hard to find any opal that looks like this from any source. Ethiopia produces such a small percentage of this high quality. I always love looking for indigo. That's a color we don't hardly know what it is, and it's between blue and violet. And I think we probably see it right in the middle there somewhere. Between that blue and violet, indigo is in there. But getting blues in these stones, red is common. Whereas in Australian, red is probably the most difficult color to get. But in Ethiopian, there's a lot of reds, and it's the blues and the violets that are tougher to get in the Ethiopian opals. But really a beautiful, beautiful gem, and at $95 a carat, it's hard to find any opal that looks like this, period. And cool shape, make great pendant. Big stone. And as I've mentioned before, the biggest comments I get from people is people are constantly coming up to them when they wear an opal, particularly this size, and just amazed at the quality of what they're wearing. Ethiopian opal, definitely high on my list of favorites. We used to cut a lot of it, but the cutters in Ethiopia have learned there's more value in cutting it themselves, and they've become really remarkable cutters. I think in general they do better at cabbing than I can do. So we've taken to buying mostly cut these days because there's no mistakes then. When you look at a cut stone, if it's great or not. Whereas if you look at a piece of rough, it's kind of a crapshoot what you're going to end up with. So not only do we barely have the choice because there's not much great rough anymore, but it's just much easier buying the cut stones than buying the rough. All right, next stone up is another Tanzanite that I just recently finished. This one almost survived as a natural, but it just wasn't quite good enough as a natural. But I'm glad we took the time and heated it, because it really heated really, really well. Just a great, the color is just dramatic. There's just red flash everywhere. What you see as violet is red in nature, in hand. I think this one's a high percentage of blue. Don't have that on there. 27. Huh. Not exactly sure what the percentage are. It is on the website. But whatever it is, it's just a beautiful, beautiful gem and kind of a cool shape. I mean, great pendant. You could do a ring. Kind of tapered differently at both ends. Again, you can see the amount of red flash in it is pretty extraordinary. Again, it looks like violet, but it's actually reds. Big stone, big millimeter size, no extra belly in it. Again, step cut crown and pavilion gives us a really nice brilliance. Praise price on this, $33,720. Our price online, $18,006. And with the 15 off, it's $15,810 or $585 a carat. Great size for a pendant. Could be a ring. Unique piece. $27-carat Tanzanite. You ready, Jeff?
We got a
Hidden gem.
hidden gems coming up. All right, for all the newbies out there. So the hidden gems will not show up on MoreGems.com until we launch them. I'm going to do that right now. We just do that because some people like to cut ahead and purchase stones ahead of time. So we try to leave some Easter eggs throughout the show that you don't see until you got to watch the show. So this will be loaded up in about 1 minute. All you're going to have to do is go to MoreGems.com, click on that green banner. If you're already there on that page of all the stones, hit refresh in about 30 seconds. Not even that. I'll do it right now. Hit refresh in about 10 seconds and this stone will show, and it's going to be 25% off with coupon code RARE25 at checkout.
Another special opal. Again, every color of the rainbow is exhibited in this gem. Weighs 35.65 carats. You know, it's kind of amazing the depth you get on this material. You know, opal from Australia typically much flatter. You know, so this extra depth makes this one of the more durable gemstones as far as opals. You know, they are the toughest of the available opals. They'll take more abuse. One issue you have to deal with is they are hydrophane, meaning they do absorb water, they'll absorb chemicals, so you have to protect them from hairsprays, perfumes. If you get them wet, they'll lose their color, but once they dry out, the color will come back. So if you took a long shower with it, it's probably not enough to lose its color. But if I once washed some clothes and was at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show and just built a piece, and I hand washed some clothes, and I did manage to get enough moisture in it that it lost the color for 2 or 3 days. is typically what happens. It dries out and the colors come back. But oils and things like that, you do have to be more careful with. It is the only drawback to Ethiopian opal. And is, I'm sure, part of the reason that the price is less expensive than Australian. Opals all have their issues. Durability is one of them, but this material is tougher than all other sources. It'll take blows more without damage, much more so than Australian or almost all other sources. And the colors you get, just extraordinary. So this is appraised value $5,350. Our online price $3,570, and with the 15% off, it's $2,678. Or this is 25% off, so it's $75 a carat. Again, big stone. Bit big for a ring, probably. Just no dead spots at all. Just color everywhere, including the back. The purity of these stones is pretty remarkable. All right, up next. This Amitrine came out quite nice. A good separation of the colors. Which is our goal in cutting this, where you get dramatic areas of the blue and the purple. Some work out better than others. This one worked out very well. You get that hole in that's strongly yellow. And then areas that mix it and areas that are purple. So it's Amitrine from Bolivia. I cut this stone. Weighs 59.49 carats. Appraised value $5,960. Our price online is $2,975. With the 15 off, it's $25.29 or $43 a carat. Which puts it among the lesser expensive stones, and I've always wondered why such a unique color is so inexpensive. It's a single source. It seems like it should be worth more. Most bicolor gems are much more highly valued. But it's nice. It's where it's at. It's material that is available, and we bought 3 kilos, I think, something like that. Just because it was remarkable, the quality of the material available. Material like this I looked for years, and I'd buy one here, one there. And then we find a supplier that was getting out of the business, was in Hong Kong, and she was no longer going to cut this material, and she had 3 or 4 kilos of it. And so we bought a couple kilos. So we'll have stones, probably for the next 10 years. But glad to have it. It's exciting material and just cuts totally unique gems. before we get to...
With the Amitrine, Steve, I think I've asked this before. I'm not sure if you just explained it or not because I've just been answering questions. But do you choose to cut it like that so the color kind of, is in certain areas? Or with Amitrine, how do you? Because I know you've cut some where it's like split right in half.
Yes.
And how are you able to do that?
Well, if you look at the rough, you'll see. You can kind of see that's how this material was produced. Otherwise, they can cut it in directions that give you that 50-50 split. It's two totally different materials. I'm not sure how they determine that, how they get it out of the crystal. The crystals are much larger and they slice them depending on what they're after, getting the 50-50 split, or whether it works out better for these, what do they call these, Mike? I don't think it's... No, it's... Yeah, I don't know. Something for that pattern. That explain it for you, Jeff.
Yeah, and on this topic, we get questions after the show about this all the time. But can you talk about the machine you use?
Oh, sure.
And that you use. We speak about it every show, but we get a ton of questions about it. So if you could talk about the cutting.
So the machine I use is right back here. And it is for people interested in getting into the business or doing it as a hobby. This is the only machine I can currently recommend. There are other machines I love. I have a couple other machines at home that I think are as good as this machine, but the problem with them is the manufacturers have quit making the machines, so you can't get parts, which ultimately becomes the downfall. I have 3 machines in the basement that I can't get parts for that are defunct, and I'll never use them again. So this machine is built by a company that's been building this machine probably 55 years now. And they don't rely on this machine. This is the Ultratech V5. This is not the only thing they manufacture. They are more into scientific equipment, medical equipment, things that probably make them a lot more money than this machine, but they just happen to like to manufacture this machine also. So it's to all our benefit that they're going to be in business because they don't rely just on faceting machines for their whole business. And that's been the problem with all the other manufacturers. There's a limited market, and it's just not enough, steady enough to keep a company in the faceting equipment business. So Ultratech is the way to go. The machine this was probably $5,500, somewhere in that range. You look at it, you go, well, that's quite a bit of money, but if you're getting into a business, that's cheap. I mean, what kind of business can you get into for $5,500? And even as a hobby, yes, it's a more expensive hobby, but some people spend this on a gun, so it's a great piece of equipment. It's as good a machine as you can buy, cuts a great stone. So it is the machine I recommend. We do rep the company, so I do get a commission from them. And if you do buy it and let them know that you bought it because of me, I do give you a nice piece of rough after I get my commission on it, and you get your machine. I'll send you a nice piece of rough that'll cut a pretty valuable stone. And I show the next stone up. So, after you learn how to facet gems, you can learn how to fantasy cut. This is a fantasy cut gem, and the machine that's next to the Ultratech V5 is the Ultratech Fantasy machine. And that's where you can do gems like this. This was not cut on the Ultratech Fantasy, but you could cut this gem on that machine. So they work together, the two machines, and Ultratech sells them both so you can get into fantasy cutting, where you can either cut grooves or rounded facets or cone shape or hemispherical facets like the bottom of this gem. So those two machines, the Ultratech V5 and the Fantasy machine, they both use the same mast. So you can do both types of faceting from one company. So that's it. This is a 63 karat fantasy cut Amitrine. As you can see, it produces a unique brilliance. These are concave facets on top and in the back. And of course, a concave main facet down the center. So, and there's many, many things you can do with that machine, and you can cut V grooves, which produces a different kind of brilliance. But this is a 63 karat Amitrine fantasy cut. Comes from the Anahi mine in Bolivia. This is all natural material. There's no treatment for these Amitrines. The appraised price on this $53.60. $19.20 is our price online. And with the 15% off, it's $1,632 or $26 a carat. So really a unique gem for a relatively inexpensive price. Because of its weight, it adds up, but get really a unique brilliance, a unique look out of this fantasy cut Amitrine. All right, next stone up is another hidden gem.
Another hidden gem. Oh, this is quick.
Another hidden gem, Jeff.
All right.
So refresh, and
listen.
once
Pink
Jeffrey
Spinel.
gets it up.
Pink Spinel. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So everybody with the hidden gems, if you go to MoreGems.com and click on that green banner at the top, you're going to see all the stones from the show tonight. If you're already there, just hit refresh, and this should show up in about 5 seconds. And then you get use coupon code RARE25 for 25% off in the cart. We accept credit card, PayPal, and Affirm financing.
All right, so this Spinel comes from Russia. The crystals that you see in it, again, you're not going to see them when you look at the stone in person. Only because of the lighting and the camera do you see those inclusions. Just very, very common, both in pink Spinel and pink sapphires from Madagascar. I had to do a refractive index on this just because these inclusions look just like the pink sapphires from Ilakaka in Madagascar have these exact inclusions in it. So I was just checking to make sure I didn't have a sapphire instead of a Spinel. Not that there's much difference in pricing. Actually, pink Spinel has almost outpriced pink sapphires, particularly because of the material from Tanzania. From Marilani. That's not right. Mahenge. So remarkably similar colors and to this. So Spinel has really become one of the most important stones in the business, from reds to pinks, grays, blues. They've hit remarkably high prices. The cobalt blue Spinels can hit $30,000-$40,000 a carat.
It's fluorescent.
Gee, I wonder. Well, not going to do it on the white, is it? Well, where am I at? Get it in the right place here. Can I? And there you can see the strong fluorescence that you see in Spinel. I could. There we go. So this is typical of pink Spinel, particularly. I'm not sure. Pink sapphire. What? Does it fluoresce as bright as this? I'm not sure either. But anyway, so this is a 1.71 carat pink Spinel. Appraised price $4,980. Our price online $2,360, and with the 25% off, it's $1,770 or $1,035 a carat.
Now, is this old material?
Yes.
I personally am not familiar with the source, so...
Yeah, the source comes from 20 years ago. Haven't seen material from Lake Baikal in Russia in many, many years. But these came from a friend of mine who was collecting for years, and he recently died, and we bought quite a bit from the estate. And this would be one of those stones. I don't think you could find another Lake Baikal pink Spinel online. I don't know that to be a fact, but I would bet on it. Yeah. You'll see colors like this from Tanzania, and probably significantly higher price the material from Tanzania. They've hit some record prices on pinks. So we had a sale.
Yes, Edwin picked up this pink Spinel.
All right.
Yeah, it's a cool stone.
Very cool. Thank you, Edwin.
And I think I mentioned him earlier with the Tourmaline. The next stone is the one that he purchased as well.
Okay.
Yes, when I was talking about, I think I mixed up the Tourmalines. So, that one did sell. I have to look back who actually bought that one, but that one sold as well. But he picked up this pink Spinel and the next stone.
The next green one. This one I just cut this week.
That's like clean as can be. Like a little too perfect.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Thanks. Well, it was a pain in the rear to cut.
I want to see Michael. Mike's got to cut one of these. But you've been cutting really good, so.
I haven't had a time to cut anything for this show. If anybody saw the large Tanzanite that Steve had cut earlier, the 79 carat, we've been working on that video project. That's kind of been taking up a lot of my time, and I've been in the shop finishing up some pieces for stock. One that you'll see tonight, I helped work on that, and there's a couple other pieces I had to help out the shop a little bit.
All right, Edwin, I guess I don't have to go through this stone too much. But it just had an inclusion. I had to recut it. So it was kind of a pain, but it ultimately worked out well. And, when you run into inclusions, you do all you can to minimize the weight loss. which makes everything much more difficult because it just ends up more work because you're trying to save material and recut it. And this one was, it took me twice as long as it should have, particularly for a stone that doesn't have a large value. I probably ended up into it 4 or 5 hours, which should have taken 2 to 3 hours, probably 3 typically. So, but thank you. All right, next one is a stone I recut. This again I bought from the estate, and it is quite red. It's probably redder than it appears there, and definitely redder than this. This is a very red stone, and red spinels are very, very rare. This stone was cut very shallow because of, you can see with the white behind it, you can see the inclusion down the center of this is why it was cut with a window. If this is on black, you don't see it, and mounted you won't see it either. But it has good brilliance other than dead center. I recut this stone because I knew I could cut less window is what I did. I cut it smaller and closed up the window a little bit and got more brilliance out of it. But the big thing about this stone, this is really a red stone. Reds are tough for us to photograph. We can't get reds really well. That's why you don't see rubies with us too much. Not only the red issue, rubies are so often included, and it's the same issue with photographing and having stones with inclusions. That's the reason we don't do much ruby or emerald, because the inclusions that are in them just make them a little unsightly. So hard to sell because of the photography. But this stone is really ruby red, on like the pictures you're seeing here. So it is a rare stone.
And Phil picked that stone up.
All right.
Very cool, Phil.
That is very red.
It is a red stone. When we were picking that one out, we were looking at it, and I held it on our hand, and it was just, it's a great stone.
Yeah.
Very red.
Yeah, and I don't know what the appraisal, I think maybe the appraisal is even low. I don't know. I hit it pretty hard because of the cutting, and but red spinels are really have high value. Ready? All right, so 2 shows ago, our designer, Christopher Michael, my nephew, during the show, we were designing this piece, and we finally finished it, and I think it came out great. This is a 6-carat 28 Tanzanite, and the emerald that's above it is just a remarkable, fine little gem. Just the color is just amazing on it. I think it's about a 28 pointer, but maybe a little over 4 millimeter size, but really, really a great color. I'd love to own a carat stone that looked like it. So this was the finished piece. I don't have much specifics on it. We'll try and put a full video together. We did a video of him designing it, and we'll try and follow through and show it all together, maybe within the next couple of days. But really a great Tanzanite. You can see the red flash in it also. The emerald is fabulous, and and very nice diamonds, F color, VS quality diamonds. I don't have the specifics. Maybe I do. No, I don't have the diamond weight or anything. We're pretty unprepared for this. But anyway, they finally finished it. And really a beautiful piece. I suppose all the information's online. But again, we'll try and finish out our video a little better in the next few days and highlight this piece a little better. But the appraised price on this is $11,385. Our price online $74.15, and with the 15 off, it's $6,300. It's 14 karat white gold, probably half a carat of diamonds, something like that. My
Pull it up a little.
okay, that work. So it came out great. Really a beautiful piece. Good job, Christopher. Great Tanzanite, beautiful emerald. Remarkable design. All right, next one up.
Before you go,
Before we go, we have a
I
sale.
just want to clear this up. I was getting some things confused. So, Roger picked up the split emerald cut tourmaline 3.2 carats.
Okay.
That's the one that we talked about a little bit earlier. And Edwin, he picked up the emerald cut bicolor tourmaline from earlier in the show.
The 7 carat.
No, the 2.66 carat. The emerald cut bicolor. I think we talked about it earlier in the show, didn't we? Or did we not even get there? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So, wanted to clear that up. Thank you both.
Okay. Next gem up. Another Spinel. Also from Lake Baikal. Also from my deceased friend, Steve. I knew Steve for at least 40 years, and he was always at the shows and always looking for stones. He bought quite a few really nice Spinels, and we bought many of them. So this is a 2.19 carat. Looks like the video stone wasn't totally clean externally. Hopefully I've got it clean now. But just very nicely cut. Nice clarity. It's VS2 to SI1. Just very, very pretty color. Nice pink. Spinels never treated. I once saw them trying to treat stones when I was in Bangkok. I don't know what the effect was, but generally Spinels do not have any treatment. And I don't think it's 100% not treated, but probably 95%. So this one appraises for $4,400. Our price online $2,290, and with the 15% off, this is $219. It's $1,947 or $889 a carat. And we had a sale.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised it wasn't this one.
Bill is picking up all of our Spinels. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're really good values.
Yeah.
I love Spinels.
Yeah.
These were the special things we got in Denver for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it came at a friend's death, but I appreciate what I got from
Yeah,
him.
he was a good collector. So
Yeah.
yeah. So thanks, Phil, for picking that one up.
with the pendant that we showed earlier, the Tanzanite pendant, Hal had two questions. Well, Hal had one question, Andy had one question. Hal wanted to know if you knew the cut grading, or the 1,000 grade, or whatever the grading is, the grading scale for the
Yeah,
Tanzanite.
I don't offhand, but it was really high.
Okay.
I bet it's a 980. I cut the
Okay.
stone, and it's, I don't know where we would find that in the inventory.
It's up there, though.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I could find it easily. That's why we weren't really prepared to show that piece tonight, because I don't have all that information. Yeah, I don't have a computer to go to either. But it's 970 is the minimum. I don't doubt it was 980, which those numbers are rare to get into, but, we do get them occasionally. But I know that one's very high rated. It's just got great color and red flash and really has everything going for it. Tomorrow we would have more of that information. I don't. 985.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There we go.
There you go.
985.
Yeah, I knew it was up there. And 985, it's hard to get higher than that. We had 1,000 rated stone a few months back, but that was one of 3 all time. So 985 is few and far between, for sure. So special stone.
And Andy, I'm checking right now, but Andy wanted to know where the emerald was from. Trying to see if it's on the website or not.
Somewhere I have that information.
Yeah, it's not listed.
I want to say Zambia, but it's such good color, and it's likely Zambia, but the color is just so much better. It was, I'd bought 3 stones and we were putting them all in one piece, and I think the other small one got damaged. So we ended up with that stone as a single stone. So somewhere I do have that information, because the bigger stone of the bunch went into another piece. So I do have that information, and I know the supplier who I bought it from, and she would know exactly where it came from. I suppose Brazil's a possibility, but the color is so extraordinary that I'm kind of at a loss to know exactly where it came from. But the information's available. All right, next stone up. I think it's another Spinel. In kind of a unique color.
It's sold. Let me
Okay.
see for sure who purchased it, and I think I know who did. Yes, it was Eileen picked up this one. So Phil and
All right,
Eileen grabbing
Eileen.
all the Spinels.
Eileen, you.
Yeah, nice color, nice stone. Thank you.
All right. I wish I could get more Spinels. The only things I can get are the grays, and these colors just aren't typically available. And Sri Lanka is my guess. I don't have an exact knowledge of where this stone came from, but my bet would be Sri Lanka. Do I want to show it still? If you must. Yeah, but they can't buy it. Yeah. And it's hard to show this color too. But really nice clarity for a Spinel. BS1. Okay, I showed it. Thank you, Eileen. All right. Next is a Sphene, and I have 3 Sphenes, and they're remarkable for Sphenes. The color is the best. The dispersion is extraordinary. These are probably the finest colors I've had. These come from Zimbabwe. And the most dispersion. You can see the amount of dispersion in it. It's really pretty remarkable. These are more typically a little more brown, but these just have a beautiful yellowy green color. So this one weighs 2.66 carats, appraised price $1,120. Our price online $8.95, and with the 15 off it's $761 or $286 a carat. Definitely amongst the world's finest spinels. Just the body color is so much better than most. Sphene, yeah, I'm stuck on Spinel. Yeah, I wish it was a Spinel. I could charge $3,000, $4,000 a carat for it. But really a beautiful, beautiful stone, nice round. Of course, round is going to give you probably the best dispersion.
And I don't know if I missed it, but to those who are unfamiliar with Sphene, you want to let them know how we recommend setting this stone?
Pendant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a ring stone. Not the most durable stone on the planet, not the hardest, not the highest durability, but it'd do fine in a pendant. Just great brilliance. I mean, it has everything. So we have a sale.
Yes. Rehaman picked up this Sphene.
All right.
Yeah.
Very
I
cool.
love Sphene.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great
Brilliance
shape
is
too.
just crazy.
Yeah, good dispersion.
Yeah, it's the best colors that we've bought from Zimbabwe for sure. Yeah.
We had a question also from TikTok. 2 questions actually. And if anybody's got questions, definitely post them in below, or post them in YouTube, post them in Instagram, TikTok. We'll try to get to them as soon as we can. We had a question if, let me see what it was from. Wanted to know if you have ever cut Alexandrite.
No. I had a piece of rough, but just wasn't transparent enough to cut. Yeah, you don't see rough. It's rough Alexandrite. As in my knowledge, I've never seen it hit the market at all. Quality stones are such demand that whoever finds it, there's a cutter for it immediately. And
Whatever happened to that piece that you had?
that
was a big chunk of.
Yeah, it's around yet.
Yeah, I've got some
Yeah, I saw it
nice
recently.
crystals, but
I-
nothing clean enough or,
Yeah,
or
and
light enough to cut.
And I polished the crown of it just to see if it would, what it would do. And so I kind of ruined its crystal value. Not that it was a great crystal, but, trying to think where I got that. Jeez. I believe it was from Madagascar, which I've been real close to the mines that mine that, but never quite got there. So, and Madagascar was on our list of places to go, and boy, they're having troubles there now. Rioting, and one of our suppliers, they came in and took everything. The rioters were looting all the businesses in Antananarivo, and they got our supplier, who is a really, really good supplier, and they just literally cleaned them out. So it's unfortunate, and hopefully things straighten out, because Madagascar is one of the places I wanted to take these 2 guys and because it was my favorite place on the planet for sure. So.
Another question was, somebody was looking at that pendant from earlier. What's the length of the pendant? Do we know? We have anything to measure it?
Maybe.
Make sure it's not on here. So,
Well, I have a ruler. I don't have a gauge this long, so it is.
oh no, we got the stone size, but not the length of the pendant. Okay. The pendant itself.
Yeah, the pendant itself is like an inch and a quarter. A little over an inch.
All right, thank you, Steve. And last question. Let's see. They asked, what is your opinion, diamond versus moissanite?
Well, I don't know why you'd buy moissanite. You know, if you're going to buy moissanite, you may as well buy synthetic diamond, because synthetic diamond has gotten so cheap. I mean, remarkable. You know, I looked at a stone I was tempted to buy. It was an 8-carat Marquise, and I could sell it for $3,000. This is a synthetic diamond, 8 carats. You know, not long ago, they had a hard time producing a 1 carat. You know, now they can produce, the biggest maybe is 80 carat and I don't know, that's the largest they produced, but I think it's the largest CVD. Is that, there's 2 types of production. One is grown on a plate and the other is grown from a seed. So they're producing large gems, and they've dropped to next to nothing. I'm assuming moissanite has gotten cheaper too, because moissanite, when we first got into it, moissanite was much more, I mean, you could buy a carat synthetic diamond cheaper than you could buy a 1 carat moissanite 10 years ago. I don't know where moissanite is now, but there's no reason to buy moissanite. I suppose it could be, they've had to drop the price significantly, but I think you can buy a 1 carat synthetic diamond for $600 these days. And I know that's what 1 carat moissanites were 10 years ago, but they're probably $100 now. But the synthetic diamond would be the better choice, of course, because it's basically is a diamond. You know, not that I recommend synthetic diamonds at all. You know, they're like all synthetics. They've gotten remarkably cheap, and you know, the value of the real thing in all stones that have a synthetic, you know, the value of the real stone has maintained its value, and you know, whereas the synthetics just get to be cheaper and cheaper as time goes. I don't think synthetics can get much cheaper. They're probably at the low end of what they can afford selling them for. You know, it's just become remarkably cheap. You know, buy the real thing for sure. So, but moissanite or synthetic diamond, if they're anywhere close to each other, I'd of course buy the diamond. Durability is greater, brilliance is, you know, moissanite is pretty remarkable brilliance too, but
Okay.
No.
Last question from TikTok, and then we'll get on.
A little bit confusing.
Person wanted to know, do you do anything with the gem dust from
cutting?
After cutting, yes.
We get asked that a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
thinking I probably should save it, because one day one of those minerals that are in there is going to be used for something, and I'll wish I had all the dust.
You could do one of those things like people like collect sand.
Yeah, I should start saving it, because a lot of it is pretty rare stuff, you know, so maybe there'll be a use for it one day, and I will start putting it in a bucket and keeping it. So, That's my goal now.
Now we're gonna have a bucket of swarf laying around, and
Yeah, I've probably thrown away 50 pounds of it. Yeah. So it'll be used in batteries or something, or...
But that said, a lot of these videos we're cutting large stones, which we're grinding off a lot of material, but not all the stones we're cutting are really that big. So, I mean, there's not necessarily a whole lot of dust. So it's a lot of mixed stones that are in there. So you're going to have, zoisite, corundum, beryl. It'll be a mixed bag for sure of material.
So.
Otherwise, yeah, you try to save, some dust from a sapphire. You'll have, be embedded into the lap.
All right, next one up. Another of the Sphenes. This antique cushion again. Just remarkable dispersion. That's what Sphene's known for is its dispersion. And without it, it would be just another pretty green stone. But with the dispersion, dispersion is what diamond's known for. But Sphene blows diamond out of the water as far as the amount of dispersion it has. There is a number that dispersion gets, and diamond's fairly high number, but that Sphene is remarkably higher as far as the amount of dispersion it has. There are numbers that go with each stone, the amount of dispersion, but I don't have that handy. But we know the dispersion of Sphene is much greater than diamond. You can just see the amount of colors that are in it, and you kind of have to look at diamond, and you get in daylight and stuff, and you can see the dispersion, but not like this gem. This has such a remarkable amount of different colors in it, and that's what dispersion is.
Just hop in here real quick, going back to the cutting dust. Ken on YouTube said he pours his cutting water on his plants. The minerals make the plants grow really well, he said.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
maybe try that out.
All right. I would be afraid sometimes it might kill something. But
I was thinking he was talking about the alcoholic drink, the cut waters.
Water?
Yeah, it's an alcoholic little drink. You ever heard of cut water, Mike?
Jeffrey and his whiskey.
Cut water.
That's what I was like. That's pretty funny. But okay, the cut. All right.
Water from cutting.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, back to this stone. Come on. So another remarkable Sphene. This is a 4.36 carat cushion. And you can see the amount of dispersion it has. Again, the color is outstanding. These are from Zimbabwe. Appraised price, well, we don't really have an appraised price. It says $14.90, but we don't really have a basis for appraised price on this material. But our price online is $13.90, and with the 15% off, where is that stone? It's $11.82 or $271 a carat. Again, like I said about the last one, these are the finest Sphenes that we've been able to buy. And this comes from a supplier from Zimbabwe, and you almost have to beg him to show you these stones. He hides them, he doesn't want to sell them, but we've become a good enough customer that he'll get them out for us, and we get to pick a few while he moans about it. I hope he's watching. Yeah. Keep hiding them. Keep them hidden for us, please. Or Maria. It is Maria, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Did I go through that stone enough?
You did.
Even from here, you can see the amount of brilliance it has. These stones have everything. Brilliance, dispersion, beautiful color. just not hardness. Yeah, pendant only. Would make a wonderful ring, but it'll only last a week.
We haven't had any matched Paris fiends, have we? Nothing recently?
No. You know, it's the colors vary so much. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a matched pair of sphenes. Be something to look for. A couple of rounds for earrings, that'd be great. So here's the last of our sphenes. You want to catch up, Michael, or?
I thought
Okay. Another square cushion. Not quite square. Cushion. Again, that remarkable dispersion. I think the only thing else we've ever cut that has this kind of dispersion would be Sphalerite.
You ever cut Cerusite?
No,
No.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
think
a
that's
problem.
got pretty good dispersion from...
Yeah. And it's
I'm
probably,
if I'm thinking the right gem, but I do like the mineral Cerusite, a nice crystal. It's heavy stuff.
no, it sounds like a stone that's difficult to cut. Stone that coast to coast would be known to cut, I'm sure. Anyway, 3.07 carat, again from Zimbabwe. These are completely natural, no treatments for sphenes. This one appraised, I have an appraised price on it, but there's really no basis for that. I think I made that one up. But anyway, our price online is $1,015, and with the 15% off, it's $863 or $281 a carat. We bought quite a few sphenes. Hong Kong or Bangkok? Where was that?
We were in Hong Kong when we bought
Okay.
those. Those were mostly from Madagascar.
Yeah. And so didn't... They were nice stones, but these are better. Yeah, just the color on these is just such a nice green. So much of the material from Madagascar is that secondary brown color.
Some of the real brown ones, though, have that intense dispersion.
Yeah, they
that's
do
just,
have
like,
amazing
crazy.
dispersion.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say that about them for sure. Yeah. So, I guess I gave the price on this, and I'll show it on hand, but we don't want to put it on hand. This is pendant only. But makes great pendants because they have such good brilliance that they show up real well.
They are a little scary to set, but once they're in there,
Yes.
it's good.
Yeah, and that's our risk, you know. If you want to make a piece, you should have us do it, and we'll take the risk on setting it. Because they're not the easiest stones to set, but we have very good setters, and we only break a few every month. I don't even know if we break that many, but it happens.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I don't think
no.
so.
Yeah, we have very good success at setting even soft stones. We've set apatites. What other crazy stones have we set? Apatite's like the worst. So,
Yeah, hepatite is the worst. It's tough to, just all around. I mean, even Ammolites can be challenging just because of the finishing. You got to do all the finishing work first. Same with the Ethiopian opals. They're a challenge just because there's specific things we need to do in the shop to, ensure they're clean before we set them.
and we've had to have a few of them repaired.
Yeah, so there's a few stones that just need some special processing when we're setting them in the shop, basically.
Yeah, it's understanding the issues, and then it's easier to deal with them. All right, next up is a pair of Rubilites.
And these
we can
sold.
the Rubilites.
Yes, Bob picked up the Rubilite Tourmaline.
It's a nice pair.
Bob. Yeah, I haven't. Man, I was talking to Steve when we were getting these. I have not seen Rubilite Tourmalines this color probably in my time, which I guess it's getting to be a little bit longer now. Looking at stones, probably in 10 years or more. But
Well, these came from the estate also. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, these did.
But yeah, we don't see stones like this very often.
Yeah, we don't see much Rubilite.
Right.
And most of it is not as pretty a color. Or we had a Rubilite last show that was really red.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that came from Steve also, It came from long ago.
The last one I remember we were setting for Marcia years ago. She had there were 2 trillion Rubilites that was in a pendant Chris designed. They were kind of both pointing at each other in the pendant. I don't know if you recall that one.
Yeah.
Those were
big ones.
They were big,
Okay. Yeah.
But that was 15 years. I don't know how long. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Not that long,
not
but-
much good Rubilite available right now.
We had a question on TikTok if you've ever messed around with fluorite.
Yeah. Yes, we've cut a few. We've had a few for sale on these shows, and I'll probably get around to cut another one because we did a Rogerly fluorite that I managed to maintain some of the daylight fluorescence, which was difficult, but it worked in the last stone. Previous stones that I've cut, I had no success in maintaining that daylight fluorescence because it is surface only. You got to leave the surface in the gem to get the daylight fluorescence to stick. And just a note about these Rubilites, I don't know they're irradiated. I just assume they're irradiated because it's a common treatment, but not all Rubilites are irradiated, and I don't know any way of identifying whether they have been or not. So I state on here that they are irradiated, but may not be true, All right, next stone up. It's another hidden gem.
Jeffrey. Hidden
All
gem.
right, I got answering questions here. All right.
We got this.
All right, so we got
We're rushing you.
gem
Come
here.
on, Jeffrey.
All right. So for everybody out there, again, I know you're going to have to hear me for people that are continuing to watch. All the hidden gems are 25% off. They won't be shown throughout the show because we know a lot of people like to purchase ahead of time, so we like to have some surprises throughout the show. But if you go to MoreGems.com, click on that green banner, you're going to see all the stones from the show. You may be there already. All you got to do is hit refresh, and you should now see this gemstone there. Again, use coupon code RARE25 for 25% off.
So, unique color. Another color that not sure if I've ever owned this color before. And another stone, this comes from my deceased friend. And unique stone, not sure when it came from. It is, I took a few liberties on this stone, projecting that it came from Afghanistan, because this is more a typical color of that source. Unfortunately, I didn't have the true source known, but it's my best guess. as well as the heat treatment. Can't tell you it's heat treated because, but many tourmalines are. But is this one heat treated? Can't tell you that for sure. But I'm going to state that it's heat treated just to cover myself. Many tourmalines are. This is a color that, if I were betting, I would say it may not be, just because of its depth of color. Usually they were much darker stones and it lightened them up, but this is so light that, like the material that's now coming out of Congo, these light colors, none of them are heated. It is more typical of tourmaline that you take a very dark stone and you lighten it up, and it still ends up a darkish stone, but it is light enough to sell. So what the true nature of this stone is, unfortunately, I can't tell, and I can't ask the owner because he's no longer with us. So I'm going to say it's heated, and I'm going to bet it's from Afghanistan. Could it be Brazil? Would be another possibility. But just a unique color that right now, the colors more like this are what we see out of Afghanistan.
Now, if somebody wanted to buy this and send it to GIA, would GIA be able to?
No idea.
You're not sure?
No.
Okay.
You could get 10 gem dealers and you could get a consensus of where we thought they were from. But there's no real way to prove where it's from. No. There's always a possibility they could identify treatment. Yeah, definitely. Maybe, the American Gemological Laboratories are probably more into identifying treatments, although GIA does do treatments. Whether they could do this, I doubt it, but it is possible. So, but anyway, pretty stone. Appraised value $2,070. Our price online $1,590, and with the 15% off, this 25% off. It's $1,193, $346 a carat,
And it's sold.
I'm
glad someone. I'm glad someone, because that was a cool color. Someone's got to buy
stuff.
this,
Yeah.
and Eileen picked it up.
Oh, okay.
So Eileen, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
The
Eileen.
color's so cool on it.
Yeah, no, it's a color I've never owned. So, and I only owned this one for a very short period. So,
And we got another sale. I'm glad this sold because there's a really cool video of it that you guys posted. Immediately, I was like, wow, this ring is amazing.
oh wow,
Yeah, so Tim picked up the Alexandrite like garnet ring.
yeah,
That was just really cool. I mean, once you see it in person and the different lights.
yes, I've done a lot of Alexandrite-like garnets. My original trip to Madagascar was for Alexandrite-like garnets. Was my goal. I had no success in Madagascar for the 10 years that I traveled there. I bought one Alexandrite-like garnet that was like it cut an 80 pointer, which was a little disappointment, but the amount of remarkable gems I got in Madagascar made up for it for sure. And, like I've said, it's my favorite country that I've traveled to. And hopefully, if things straighten out there, we can get back to Madagascar again. Cool. All right. All right. Here's another unusual gem that is only just hit the market. When did this stuff come out, Mike?
Let's see.
It's been 2 years?
It might have been about 2 years. We started seeing the rough in Hong Kong. I remember seeing it posted online, and then we seen large parcels being offered in Hong Kong. And just this year, we started seeing them cut on the market. from where we've been. I got a couple of crystals early this year, but cut, these are the first two I've seen.
So this material is basically, well, it's beryl. It is greener than this is showing. This looks blue, but it is green. So some are trying to say, well, it's a bicolor emerald. Not that I would argue with that. It is green. It is colored by chromium, which is the same as emerald, whereas green beryl is not colored by chromium. So we probably wouldn't appropriately call it a green beryl. So whatever it is, it's a bicolor beryl that's green and clear. So,
Totally clear though?
No, is it totally? Well, it's not flawless.
No, I mean color clear.
The color.
Blue.
Well, yeah, it's blue green. Yeah, not that blue.
I've got a crystal.
Oh, okay. But they're not that blue. I'll say they're greenish, bluish green. I don't know which is closer, the picture or the... I don't know, it looks more green. They are more green, but a little bit of blue to them. So if I were to take this color as being the color, I would say it's a bicolor aqua, but they're definitely more green than blue. So what the nature of it is, it's a beryl that's first time ever. These are the first cut stones I've ever seen. We had one on the last show and this one. This one's a little clearer, and again, take the videos with grain of salt because they appear much cleaner than what these videos are, but they do have inclusions in. Just like an emerald would, they do have inclusions. It's just the nature of this material, and this is probably the cleanest one I've seen to date. It's one of those things that it's here today and probably gone tomorrow. This material came out of Nigeria. As with most gems, it's something that we have for a short period and will likely be out of existence within a year or maybe two, but you never know, but it's most likely the case. So a rare gem as far as a cut gem, being a bicolor green and clear beryl. Appraised price, we don't have an appraised price. Our price online, $37.50 with the 15% off. It's $31.88. It's $543 a carat. So time will tell whether we see more faceted stones. We'll be looking at the rough, seeing if we can find stones to cut, just because they are exceedingly rare. And
we did purchase a couple pieces of rough this trip.
Oh, that's right.
So
we
have some material to cut.
That will cut. Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah. So hopefully next show we'll have something that we've cut. We bought these cut, and I know what we have is smaller. It's going to cut, you think, 2 carat size maybe? Probably. Unusual gem. Again, first time we've ever owned anything like this.
There was a message on TikTok that they said, yes, this material is very new on the market. And he said this is the first cut one he's ever seen.
Yeah, Yeah, for us too. Yeah. This came from a friend we travel with, and he's actually, I think he's in Kenya right now. So, which little information that he gave us, we'll find out if it's true. He had bought a few pieces of rough Tanzanite, supposedly from Kenya. You know, we've heard reports of Tanzanite coming from Kenya, but never any quantity, never enough material that made it worth mining. But we'll see what the nature of this material is. I told him I would like to buy it just because to have something from Kenya, but we'll see what he comes back with, and whether we can prove it's from Kenya, or whether that source actually ends up being something that is available. It came from an area near Voi, which is where Tsavorite is from, and I think it was a byproduct of Tsavorite mining, which when you mine Tanzanite in Tanzania, you do find some Tsavorite with it also.
There's a question. When you say coming from Kenya, you mean it's coming across the border into Kenya?
Well, that's always a
mined?
possibility, and that's one of the concerns with identifying where it came from. Unless you were at the mine when it came out, you don't know. But no, supposedly mined in Kenya.
Oh, really? Oh.
And we've heard about that in the past, that there has been material from Kenya. It's not something that's totally new. There have been stones found in Kenya, but never a quantity. I've never seen one. So we'll see if I get any either rough to cut or can buy a cut stone. But proving where it's from becomes an issue. Whether there's any way to prove it, probably not. So unless you buy it from the guy that took it out of the mine, or see it come out of the mine, how do you know where it came from becomes a concern. So a lot of trust in this business, but it only goes so far. Somebody brings you something and says it's from Kenya, how do you trust them, I guess? So always an issue. So up next, a pretty remarkable aquamarine. Not quite as deep a color as it's showing in this picture, but it is definitely one of the deepest color aquas I've ever seen. So actually it's somewhere between the picture online and the picture of this is what the real color of this is. Really a deep, deep color aqua. Would I call it Santa Maria blue? Santa Maria. Probably. It's as dark of aqua as I've ever seen. Really, really a great stone. I guess I did call it Santa Maria blue, so.
I didn't make
Yeah, no, that's my words, because it is. I mean, it's in my opinion, it is as deep a color as what we see coming from the Santa Maria mine, which is in Brazil. It was a famous mine that produced some of the darkest aquas. Whether this probably wouldn't be as dark of aquas came out of there, but it would be representative of what came from this mine and gave the name Santa Maria to aqua. So a remarkable stone, whatever. It's a nice clean stone, VS1 clarity. I did have to do a little recutting on it to get rid of some chips on it, but I cleaned up the stone real well. Again, very, very nice Marquise. I can't show that color.
And the Vandenberger aqua, we call it an aqua, but it's the same as aquamarine, so just kind of shortened up the term. So same difference.
Yeah, blue beryl. So comes from Zimbabwe. Totally natural color. No treatment for this stone. So it's got a little bit of green to it. And if you heated it, it will probably get a little deeper color and the green will go away. But the value is in it being natural. It increases the value of the stone as long as the green does not give it a color that is not desirable. Because many times the green in the stone it makes it a less desirable color, and you heat it and it just becomes all blue then, which is the case of most of the aquamarines on the market have been heated. But this color is a desirable green color, so we'll leave it as green. You own it. You can do what you want. If you want to turn it a little bit deeper color and all blue, it can be done, and we have the ability to do that. But you shouldn't do that to this stone. The value is in it being natural. I don't generally see that aquamarine, there's a difference in price for it being natural, but there should be, as is the case with like sapphires and rubies when they're natural, or emeralds. When they're untreated, the value is significantly greater, as should be the case with natural aquas also. So the appraised value on this stone is $3,710. Our price online, $2,480, and with the 15% off, it's $2,108 or $667 a carat. Truly a beautiful, beautiful aquamarine.
Got a few questions coming in from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We'll try to get through these quickly here. One was, I guess you were just talking about heated versus unheated. Is it the same thing with Tanzanite?
Value-wise.
We generally don't charge more for them. Probably should. Particularly because the rarity of beautiful natural color Tanzanites is dramatic. I mean, as many as we cut, maybe 1 out of 20 or 30, if maybe 50, is worth keeping as a natural color because it's unique and beautiful. So they are extremely rare and probably should be priced higher than what the treated stones are, but to this date, we have not charged extra for it. Many stones are much more valuable. Sapphires are 40 to 50% greater value for being unheated, as well as rubies, the same situation. Emeralds that are unfilled are worth significantly more. So most gems that are natural, it's really only taken a dramatic effect on the precious stones, as rubies, sapphire, emeralds, being natural are significantly greater value. As if you look in the gem guide, you'll see there's totally different price categories for unheated and heated in ruby and sapphire. So they're once you can you can get a lab to say that they are natural. I mean, this stone we're looking at, no question it's natural, because you'll see in the dichroic colors that there are colors in there that wouldn't be there when they're heated. I say that, and I haven't really looked at this stone, but I know for a fact it's natural. The crystal is totally natural, and
I looked at the crystal, definitely.
Yeah, so this has got the some yellow in it. I'm not sure, was it yellow or green?
It was a yellowish green for sure. Yeah. I've got a video of it. I'll have to post it with it. I took a nice video showing it was a nice deep purple, deep blue, and greenish yellow.
So there's no question this one is. I do have a trillion that we think is natural that people are wanting to prove it, but I'm not sure the labs can prove it. And the one lab that says maybe they can they charge a significant amount for a stone that's 10 karat like that is. You know, they want $500 to give you an ID on it, and they can't be sure that they can say whether it's a natural unheated stone or not. So I've been hesitant for those of you out there that have interest in that stone. I don't know I can prove it. You know, that stone looks heated, but the owner says he didn't heat it. So, and the owner is a close friend of mine, and so yeah, it's kind of is it a catch-22? I don't know. I don't know how to prove it, and you know, it's a color that you can't just look at and say, I know that's a natural. You know, so that's the issue with that particular stone. This stone doesn't have that issue. This is a natural, this is an unnatural looking stone that if it were heated, it wouldn't look like this, you know, so, you know.
All right. And with this Tanzanite that we just have it up right now, yes, Katie, this was cut by Steve. I'm going to ask if it was a pixel cut, but is it a pixel?
No, it's just a step cut.
Just a step cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it gives that kind of look, but you know, it's which a pixel cut is kind of has a step cut effect because the facets run one direction on top and one direction on the bottom, and gives you those pixels like a step cut does. You know, it does a similar kind of thing.
Right. And somebody wanted to see the aqua on the hand. And while you're putting it on your hand, there's a question: is Aquamarine, is the value more in the color or the location of where it came from?
The color, totally.
And when you do any kind of heating, do you do it when it's in its rough form, or do you do it after it's cut?
Both. Generally, Tanzanite I heat after I cut it. Sometimes, a lot of times overseas, they heat first and then cut. They find out if there's any damage from heating, and if it does, then you can change your cutting style. But I find heating after I cut works for me best. You know, if you got a stone that's not pretty until you heat it, maybe you want to heat it first to make sure it comes out to a nice color. You know, if damage is a concern, then heating first, not wasting your time cutting it, and then heating it and having damage occur later. You know, these are things that you decide when to heat and when to cut first and heat later, or heat first and cut later. So there's reasons for both. Did I do the hand long enough?
I think so.
Okay. All right, next stone up, another Spinel. Kind of a unique shape, pretty color. Really good clarity, weighs 2.28 carat.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if this was still available. It's got to be this stone. I'm going to guess Phil.
That would be my guess, but
You guys both guessed wrong.
Oh.
I guess Eileen, and Eileen picked it up.
Eileen.
Eileen.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
They've done
Yeah.
a full sweep of all the Spinels tonight.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they're
Thank
all
you,
great
Eileen.
stones, yeah. And this one's really, really a cool cut and just a cool shape. You know, just look at the brilliance. They're so brilliant, and a lot to be said for the stone. Yeah. Did all the Spinels go? I think I've sold pretty much everything in Spinel. That they've just been good values and just really great stones, and you know, stones from A lot of them long ago, I'm sure. Okay, up next, another Peridot. I wish the Peridots sold as quick as Spinels, but yeah, I'm thrilled to own them.
They're great to have, and when we were taking a lot of these stones we take outside to look and see what they look like in daylight, and these Peridots are very special in daylight. They have a glow to them that's you just don't want to stop looking at them.
Yeah, daylight is definitely the light for these gems for sure. So wear it to the beach. Yeah.
Or on a picnic, or
they are color stable, and
something like that, and you'll get a lot of compliments. People will be just wanting to look at, I don't know, the stone. I would.
Yeah, we'll continue to buy these. We have the best source. They're from Pakistan, and they do great cutting, and I'll continue to buy. Particularly, well, not just the big stones. The small ones all sell pretty quick, but these big ones are just great to own. And the crystals that Mike's bought for Mineral Mike, just remarkable crystals. I just am amazed by the beautiful terminations on them, and they're all. What is the wear on those, Mike?
There's some sort of etching. I don't know if they're just hydrothermally etched or what, but the ones that I just recently bought are actually, they have some nice clearish faces to them. They are etched still, but super gemmy. They're big size. I bought some smaller ones too, but a few of these are quite large and some of the best that I've ever owned, and I'm working on getting them online. Like I said, I hadn't had really time to cut or work on the minerals, so hopefully soon I'll have a lot of the mineral specimens that I bought. I bought a ton of smaller thumbnail size to miniatures. I've got some really nice garnets as well, but stay tuned for those. Before the holidays I'll have those out. I'll try and work on them next week, but we'll see. But back to this Peridot. It's a great stone.
Yeah, another really beauty. Nice big trilliant, and again, Ludwigite inclusions, typical of this color, but in person much, much less visible than what you see here. But beautiful gem. These all from Pakistan, high up in the Himalaya mountains, no treatments. This particular one weighs 11.83 carats.
Hi, Eileen. Have a good night. Thanks for coming out.
You're
Thanks
leaving
for all
us.
the purchases. Enjoy those northern lights.
Northern Lights, huh? Is that something that's going on now? I know they had a lot of what do we call them from the sun? They're eruptions, but there's a name for them.
Coronal mass ejections.
Coronal mass ejections, yes. They've been pretty active these days, and the doesn't quite get down to us seeing the lights, but I'm sure if you were in northern Michigan, you'd have a good view. But anyway, back to the Peridot. So $21.30 is our price online. And with the 15 off, it's $1,811 or $153 a carat. Really, it's quite a gem for that. Just great brilliance, beautifully cut. And great color. Oop. You can see just the brilliance of the stone. Just pretty amazing for Peridot. There's a fairly high refractive index, but not, it's, I think, somewhere around Tanzanites.
I'm gonna have to get one of those for Carrie, because if she wore that, I don't think I'd be able to stop looking at it, and just be such
Yeah.
a cool,
Yeah,
cool
true.
piece,
Yeah.
you know, just as a pendant.
It must be hereditary because we both love peridot. Yeah. More than our clientele, but glad to own it.
Yeah.
And one day that Pakistan material is not going to be available.
And I feel like maybe it'll change, you know. I don't know. I don't know what.
Well, people don't
I don't
see
get
this
it.
color. You know, the market does not see this color. There's so
Right.
little of it that it's
And our when we go see
part
our
of the
supplier,
problem.
we're the first ones there, and
Yep.
you know, we're picking up his best stones. He's excited to see us, and we're excited to see him too whenever we get there.
We always get to meet with him before he shows anybody, and we pick out the best that he has. Whether I can sell it or not, I'm going to own it. Damn it!
That's the same way I was with those peridot crystals. I don't care.
Yeah. You have enough.
Oh, I've got-
I
I've got
say
so
you have
many.
enough, but you have many.
I don't have as
You
much
don't
as
have enough.
I've got more Tanzanite crystals than anything, but
Yeah.
peridot is getting to be a close second.
Okay, next up, another unusual color tourmaline. Not enough. Probably more like the pictured, not quite as intense as this color in the screen there. The picture online is quite accurate, but a unique color. Another color that I haven't owned, somewhat similar to the tourmaline we had earlier, but again, different color. Big stone, 13.68 carats. This one comes from Mozambique. No treatments for this material. Again, high clarity. Just extraordinarily brilliant. This again, I cut a step cut crown and pavilion. Praise value $13,680. Our price online $7,990. And with the 15% off, it is $6,792, which is $496 a carat. Pretty cool tourmaline.
Did you buy some more of this rough, or what? I thought you
No,
bought-
it was a big parcel, and I just...
You separated it though, did you?
Yeah, well, the owner allowed me to buy one of them.
Yeah.
I told him, let me try it and see. This was the nicest stone of the parcel, and he was kind enough to let me pick it out of there.
Yeah, it's very. Look at that, how clean.
Just
and,
a unique color,
Yeah.
and I really wasn't sure. It wasn't inexpensive, so wasn't ready to buy the whole parcel, which was a significant purchase. Try one, and if it sells, we'll see if there's more available. It's a new supply, whether it's a one-time shot or not. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a color that is available for a while. I know he'd got one more parcel. He's in Bangkok, and had one parcel of smaller material that he got. So we'll see what the future of it is. We'll see how this sells. And I wish I'd started with a little smaller stone, something that cut 4 or 5 caraters, and really get to know whether it's marketable, because it gets it into a better price range for sales. Once you get into the $2,000 range, it's easier to turn stones, and that's what the new parcel he got was going to cut 5 carat sizes. So, whoop. Is that good?
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yep. Later. So this is really a great Spessartite. It's just high clarity for Spessartite. Very, very little within it. Yeah, and I'd have to look at it again, see whether VS1 is too high for it, not VS2. There is a little bit in it. But Spessartite garnet is a type 2 gem, meaning it rarely comes clean. But this is very, very clean for Spessartite, particularly this color. This would be mandarin color. There is a very slight pink to it, is kind of what you expect out of mandarin. So it really is in the top quality of Spessartites. Like I say, the guide breaks Spessartites into 2 categories, and this would go into the more valued category. This has an appraised value of $6,190. Our price online, $36.90. And with the 15% off, is this 304? It's $31.37, $1,032 per carat. The Chinese were very infatuated with this gem, and it became very, very difficult to buy because of their purchasing power. And stones of this quality, I've had very, very few stones like this.
We bring this up every show, but if anybody's out there looking for a men's ring, awesome men's stone. Michael and I both have one, and
if this one lasts, we'll make it into a men's ring.
No,
it'll be a great men's ring. Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it'll be my men's ring.
Yeah, you need one. Yeah, you gotta join the trio.
Copycat.
A little small for you, Steve.
Well, I'm thinking smaller these days.
Yeah,
I've done a few rings that were too big, thinking that's my position in the business. I need big, but I'm gonna be more modest from now on, I think. So, although every ring I've made, I've sold. So there are people out there that like big rings. So the next up is another Spessartite, and it's a hidden gem, Jeff.
Yes, another hidden gem. Another Spessartite. Again, you don't have one of these. These are amazing garnets. And this one looks incredible. So Spessartite garnet, hidden gem. These are 25% off with coupon code RARE25. I've just loaded it up on the website. So if you go to MoreGems.com and click on that green banner, you're going to see all the stones from the show tonight. If you're already there, hit refresh. You should see the stone near the top of the page. And then you can purchase it. Credit card, PayPal, Affirm financing. Use coupon code RARE25 and take 25% off that price.
So this is a 3 carat 12, appraised value $35.80. $24.50 is our price online. And with the 15 off, it's $1,838 or $589 a carat. A really great color, high clarity. Cutting not perfect, a little symmetry issues with the culets, a little off center, which is not unusual, but it still faces up nice and brilliant, and the symmetry of the crown is very, very good. Great color, similar to the last one, much less expensive. similar weight. Oh yeah. Get hand out. That work?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, there's that one. We'll go back one. Okay.
Thinking the oval might be better for you. Looks a little bigger. I don't know, does it face up bigger?
Not really.
No? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I need a 5 carat.
Yeah.
That's what you guys have. I need a 6 carat.
I think you need a 10 carat. Remember that real big one you had years ago?
Oh God, yeah, it was included. Though.
It was.
Yeah, but it was huge.
It was.
Like 25 carat.
Yeah, that was.
God, I wish I had that today.
That was a monster.
Even
it was
included,
super,
it was
very included, but
yeah,
big.
it was big. Yeah. Okay.
Is that from the parcel that you selected for 2 hours? And
Yes, it was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I was there that year,
And the owner came back and said he can't select from there, and the guy talked him into letting me select, and we became good friends after that. Unfortunately, he can't come to Tucson anymore for some reason. He's from Madagascar, or from Germany, and he had issues with the government for some reason. I don't know. So hopefully he'll come back again, or we'll go see him at the Munich show next year.
A couple questions. Oh, you're showing something?
Nope.
My laptop lost power, so I forgot my charger again. So I'm going off to the phone here, but Vicky wants to know, do you have any more Russian pink spinels coming up in any shows?
No.
No.
I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't foresee, because I haven't seen them in years, and this is just old material. So.
All right.
That'd be a big no.
All right. There
Sorry.
you go, Vicky.
I'll hope, but yeah.
The Vanderburger wants to know, what's the difference between green tourmaline and the chrome tourmalines, the closer to emeralds in color?
What was the last of it?
What's the
they're
difference
closer to emeralds in color,
Yeah.
and they're colored by chromium, which gives them that color. Normal green tourmaline doesn't look like Tsavorite or emerald. It's just a more vivid green color, caused by the chromium, which chromium does emerald. It's chromium and vanadium are typically the two ingredients that make chrome-looking stones, that type of green, make that color. I think in chrome tourmaline, it's chromium and vanadium. Tsavorite may be the same situation. I don't know that emerald has any vanadium or not. But chromium's the coloring agent in those, and it's not available there's no chromium in the other green tourmalines.
All right. Question from TikTok by Preston wants to know the thoughts on the best gems to hold over the next 5 or 10 years.
Best gems to hold over the next 5 or 10 years. Well, I've always pushed Tanzanite, and it's just because in that period of time, maybe it's long enough that the mines are going to run out. You know, when we were there in 2 years ago, I thought that maybe the mines had run out because there was no material available, and I thought maybe it was the end, but it's still not the end. But it's inevitable that the mines will, I mean, they're so deep that one day maybe they'll run out. But now we have Kenya, maybe it'll produce, who knows. You know, sapphire is always a good stone to get involved in. You know, it is the biggest seller of all gems. Many of the garnets have become very, very valuable, and the rarity of many of the garnets is always going to be there. You know, but beyond that, I'm not sure exactly where to put money. Put money into top quality, exceptional gems, and it's hard to go wrong. Peridot, yeah, and I wouldn't question sitting on big peridots like we have here. You know, it's just buying really fine stones in a size that'll be difficult to get when they get limited availability. So just go after the best quality of almost any gem, and like buying in the stock market, you know, put your money in different things and just buy quality.
All right, and somebody mentioned that the hidden gem is only giving 15% off. I'm going to fix that right now. My computer died, so I'm going to run over there, and I'll make that 25% off.
Just on one, or? Oh, okay. All right. So our next stone up is another opal, and another really fine one. A little smaller this time, but just great colors throughout. This is a little darker body color, not anywhere near a black, but a little bit deeper base. Weighs 7.12 carats. The back's as good as the front, maybe better. No treatments for this material. Again, it is hydrophane, so you have to be careful with oils, medicines, hairspray, things like that. You just have to protect it somewhat. They're typically pendants the best place for it, although we've done many rings with it also. Praise value of $1,070. Our price online $690. And with the 15% off, it is $587 or $82 a carat. Ethiopian opal. Good size for a pendant. And if you need it as a ring, big ring, but not too big. No. And the next opal up, I'm going to call it a black opal. I mean, it is dark body color. Don't need it on black. Again, really great colors. smaller size, under 2 carat, but nice long stone, weighs 15 millimeters long. Would make a nice ring. Do what? What am I doing?
I'm just going to cut you guys off a little bit.
You're going to cut us off?
Yes. So this stone sold, and the other opal sold as well.
Oh, this opal?
Yes.
Oh, and the last one?
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And the last
So let's see. So Tracy purchased the Cabochon cut opal of 7.12 carats.
Nice.
That's the one you just talked about.
Thanks, Tracy.
Cool. Thank you, Tracy.
And then this one, Kelsey purchased. This is a 1.87 carat. Yes, Kelsey
Cool.
purchased this one.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah, two great opals at the end of the show. And then for the Spessartite garnet, that is the 25% off hidden gem. So as soon as you add it to the cart, it's going to show a 15% off for you. But then once you go to the checkout, you can click, I think it's get summary or add coupon code. Add the rare 25 coupon code, and that 15% off will jump to 25% off. So hopefully that helps.
All right, sold 2 opals. How about 3? Here's our last opal of the night. This one weighs 15.27 carats. A little bit different patterning in this stone. But still extremely brilliant colors. Okay. This one weighs 15.27 carats, appraised value $22.90. Our price online $14.90, and with the 15% off, it's $12.67 or $83 a carat. Any more questions there, Jeff?
Yeah, it's hard to work off the phone here.
Oh,
Multiple.
you good?
Yeah, if you've got questions, you can post them now. I'm trying to find. I know there was a few questions on TikTok.
White, they're all hydrophane. I don't know if they're less. I haven't really looked at that serious. Because the hydrophane, they vary the amount of hydrophane. Some stones you can stick to your finger and it just sticks because it's wanting to suck the water off, and others, you can barely notice the tackiness of them. So there is a variation in how hydrophane they are, how absorbent.
I know we always do this at the end of the show. The stones that are left, our favorites, our favorite. I was going through them. I don't remember. Must have not been here for that one. We talked about the oval cut Chrysoberyl from Tanzania.
Yeah.
That one's still available?
That's a
Oh, wow. Yeah,
color.
that one's killer.
I know. I think I was answering questions when that one came around. But that one, as I was going through these colors, I love Spessartite. That's probably one of my favorite stones. But this yellow Chrysoberyl was pretty amazing. I mean, just the brightness of it.
Yeah, I always really like Chrysoberyls. They just look so crisp to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
what
There
it
is something about that. Yeah.
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 Well, yeah,
Crisp is a
that's
good
a
word
special
for
piece.
it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know, and I some reason I like that Marquise Aqua. Just the color is so pleasing. Even though I
reminds me-
didn't cut it, I did a little recutting on it, but you know, it's just for an aqua, it's rare they get better.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, even when I was working in the shop, it was probably 20 years ago, when you got that aqua from Madagascar that was really dark?
Yeah, those were almost, but there was some gray to them. They
Was
were
there?
they were
Okay.
so dark. I mean, they were unbelievably dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
still remember them to this day.
well, I'm surprised. Yeah, I remember the people that have them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're. I've never seen darker aquas than those. You know, but they were. Yeah, there was a little bit of gray to them,
Okay.
which is not unusual in aquamarine. So,
And I have to say, I really like this Tourmaline.
yeah,
I think it's a
kind of cool.
special piece. Like the Chrysoberyl, this one's just so, crisp and
Yeah.
clean looking.
Yeah, not sure why I'd pick the aqua over that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
forgot about it. I don't know why you didn't pick the 79 karat Tanzanite. That one's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
because it gave me so much problems.
Yeah, oh, you're
It
mad
stressed
at
me out so much
Yeah.
that, I don't have fond memories of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
As a natural, I think it's
Well, and I have a desire to heat it,
yeah. Yes, you do. Oh, you heated that one. The odd.
Yeah,
the
and
Geo-
it came out great. It came out better than I expected, the 27 karat.
I thought that
This
natural
guy.
color was okay.
I know you did, but it's so much better heated.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
But for
no
somebody
question.
that, I hear so many people saying that they're looking for these natural colors that, I'd like to maybe keep them there and see whether these people are, they just have an opinion or they'd actually like to own one.
Yeah, but it didn't show the red flash like this does.
No.
I mean the body color was red.
Yeah.
It was mostly red, but all that is red flash that you see and looks a little violet.
Yeah, it is a crazy
So,
color.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
flash,
it's-
it's big, broad red flashes too, which is rare.
So I'm glad I heated that one. You almost talked me out of it, but
Yeah. Well, you didn't
which
heat the other
I'm
one.
glad you do. Keep me
you-
from heating certain things or doing certain things, and it's good to have a second opinion.
You can always heat it later.
Can always heat it later. True. Yeah. But this one, I think it was the right choice.
I do too. Yeah. Now after
Yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah, it's came out. I worried because the whole body color was just kind of reddish brown.
And looking at the actual value of it versus what I was looking at it as a cool and interesting stone, it would be hard for me to pull the trigger on something that valuable that looked
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
As opposed to this.
Because it's a big stone, and I
Right.
think that's what made us finally decide to heat it, because it was an expensive stone, and
Yeah.
it needed what happened to this.
Right.
Yeah, it really is a special stone. So, and this could be my favorite too. Yeah.
Probably one last question. Have you ever cut indicolite tourmaline?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, not too long ago. I think I had something that was indicolite. And indicolite's kind of open these days as to what is indicolite. There's, you think of indicolite being mostly blue, but there's a lot of indicolite that's accepted and has a lot of green in it. So,
All right. think that's the end of the show. I just want to thank everybody for, if you're on YouTube, if you can hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified every time that we do a new show or we launch any type of new gems and jewelry on YouTube, or even our educational videos. We got a ton of videos out there of Steve cutting, showing how to cut. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, follow us there. We post tons of great videos, tons of great new stones. When we're traveling places, we always post pictures there as well. So just subscribe, follow us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you had a great night on the show tonight. If you are thinking about any of the stones still, tomorrow a big email blast goes out to our whole customer base. So usually a lot more stones sell. If you do like something, I'd suggest picking it up. We do have 30-day returns. And tomorrow, if the stone's still around and you want to put it on layaway, you can do that. You can give us a call. We open up at 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow, and all we require is 20% down.
And we'll go up to 6 months.
Up to 6 months,
Yeah.
yep. So if you want to do that, give us a call tomorrow. You're happy to do that. So otherwise, take it away, Steve.
All right, that's going to do us for us tonight. I'm Steve Moriarty with my sons Jeff and Michael. Keep on gemmin'.
Let's go, like the stage is set. Rare gemstones you won't forget. Colors so bold, they steal the scene. A world of brilliance, crisp and clean. On the MoreGems.com, where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, a spark divine. Cut to perfection, glowing with pride. Step into the wonder, come inside. Come inside, oh. The finest gems, each one a star. From places distant and lands afar. Shapes that shimmer, hues that play. This is your chance, it's Gem Drop Day. And see the light in every stone, crafted by hands, each one alone. A fleeting glimpse, don't let it fade. Gems like these are never remade. On the MoreGems.com, where treasures shine. Where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, a spark divine. Spark divine. Cut to perfection, glowing with pride. Step into the wonder, come inside. Go, come inside, go. It's the MoreGems.com, a dazzling view where every gemstone waits for you. Welcome to the MoreGems.com. Let's go. On the MoreGems.com, where treasures shine. Where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, spark divine. Spark divine. Cut to perfection, glowing with pride. Step into the wonder, come inside. Learn inside, yo. It's the MoreGems.com, a dazzling view where every gemstone waits for you.